There's an odd pattern. So, the black and gold thing. Teams that wore black and gold all went 0-1. Now they're all 2-1. Isn't that weird? All right. So Vegas and Minnesota, and I thought it was nice of Vegas to let Minnesota feel good about themselves for a while, because this is the only explanation I have for what happened in this. Because the score kind of ends up flattering Minnesota in this. Hartman scores from Kaprizov and Brodin at 2:16, and that's the first shot. And so Hartman, who's had so many opportunities in the first two games, finally gets a goal. And it's like, all right, here we go. Hartman with a goal. That's a good news, feel-good story if you're a Minnesota fan, right? So first shot, and it's in. Vegas gets a power play right after, but the Wild kill it off. And in general, Vegas's power play is still a problem. But if you're a Vegas fan, you know this. I think most hockey fans now know that the power play in Vegas has been an issue most of the season. Dumba gets a chance right out of the box. Johansson then got hurt. Carlson tripped him into the net. There was no call on that. I'm on the fence on that. I know the announcers are saying there should have been. Anyways. So the fans weren't happy about that. Fleury then stops a good chance from Zuccarello, and then at 8 minutes and 30 seconds, it's Eriksson Ek, who in the playoffs is putting up some good numbers, and that is right in line with the good regular season he's had from Foligno and Dumba. So 8.5 minutes into this, it looks like this could be a laugher in favor of the Minnesota Wild. Vegas is not getting shots. They're not getting opportunities. Wild then get a power play. Fiala fires one wide. Vegas would kill it off. But the shots with 8 minutes left in the period are 6-3 in favor of Minnesota. So they're playing very, very well at home. Wild then scored, but his challenged is offside. And as soon as a coach says I'm challenging it as offside, it very likely is offside, and it was. So that goal comes off the board. Vegas then gets a power play. It was killed off. So that penalty kill for Minnesota is key. It's not allowing shots, not allowing chances. Kaprizov then wires one high on a fast break. Few shots, but not a lot of room for either team. I don't have any proof that something was said in the Vegas locker room in between the first and second period. I'm going to say this. Peter DeBoer doesn't have to say anything. I think in between periods, he could sit there and just play solitaire and just be really quiet. I think the other guys in that locker room can get each other plenty fired up. And clearly Vegas wasn't happy with their performance and decided to do something about it for the rest of this game. Fiala had a break that was defended by Vegas. The next shot was saved, and that's about where the happiness for Minnesota comes to an end. Talbot kicks out a Marchessault shot. The shot blocking by the Wild was kind of keeping Vegas to the outside early there, but Vegas was really relentless with their attack. Fleury denies Kaprizov. Dumba fires one wide. Tuck then had a shot to Stevenson, but Spurgeon was defensive on that one and managed to keep that from hurting them. So Stone would score from Stevenson at 8:39. And that's where things start to turn. And you could sense that there was a different feeling in this game at that point. And yeah, things start to turn there. Carrier then almost ties it twice. He had two really good opportunities. Carrier might have had his best game. I don't know that I want to say as a Vegas Golden Knight in the playoffs, because of course the 2018 run this team had was pretty good, and I'm sure Carrier had really good games there, but it felt like it was one of his best games tonight. Vegas kept pressing for the tie. They go to the power play. Stone had a shot that was stopped. In the first 11 minutes of this period, Vegas has 17 shots. So yeah, it's the Talbot show. Wild were really not doing a good job of locking down that 2-0 lead going into the second period and driving the play. It just wasn't there. Really dangerous comeback team in Vegas, showing tonight why they're a dangerous comeback team. Fiala then manages to break an 8-minute period of no shots for Minnesota, which kind of matches the 9 minutes in between shots for Vegas in the first period. But it just felt like Minnesota's was kind of sort of worse. So Fleury makes the save there, and then it's Brown. Of all people, Brown gets a goal from Holden and Carrier at 15-19. So this is the thing. This is the depth guys coming up and getting the points and getting goals, and this was a nice goal for a depth guy in Brown. And it was a result of really solid forecheck by that line. So they're rewarded for it, and the game's tied. Not for long. Riley Smith, who's been on a tear lately, he scores from Holden and Carlson at 17-33. And then with the lead, suddenly with the lead with 3 goals in about 9 minutes. Vegas presses again. The Wild have completely fallen apart. Their confidence is gone. Their game has fallen apart. And last minute, Vegas gets another power play. So third period, opening with the power play, we actually get a shorthanded chance for Eriksson Ek, and the Wild killed it off. But they needed momentum from that. They don't get it. Janmark had a chance that was saved right after it ended. Tuck then takes a penalty, sends the Wild to a power play. The fans wanted a 5-on-3. Vegas was killing the penalty really well, and they felt that there was a little overzealousness by the penalty killers. They don't get the 5-on-3. Should have asked Islander fans. You're not going to get that call. So yeah, it was quite the show. The penalty kill for Vegas was really strong on that one, and they didn't really give Minnesota much of anything. Bukestad had a chance after it ended. Marchessault, Carlson, Smith. That is the line that has been driving the bus when Vegas is going well, and it's doing it again. This is the line that's really firing them up, and they're getting that energy from the third and fourth line, and their first and second lines are just dominant. Like Stone had a very good game tonight as well. So all the guys that you want to see going for Vegas kind of sort of are now. It's been all Vegas since the first ended. With 8:42 left, the Wild take a too many men on the ice call. Vegas goes to the power play. The first unit doesn't get a lot done. The second unit looked a lot better. But again, that penalty is killed off, and it's something Vegas needs to figure out. That power play. If they had a really good power play, odds are they'd win more games, and some of these playoff games could come down to that power play. So we'll see. We get a near miss by Tuck as the power play wound down. Talbot was keeping the Wild in this game. There was nobody in a Minnesota jersey other than Talbot, who was playing really well. Carrier, great game for him. Vegas leaving no space in the middle of the ice at all. Kaprizov, his line was getting some offensive zone time, but there was a lot of Vegas shot blocking going on as well. So when Minnesota would get those opportunities and would penetrate the zone, the shot blockers were there to meet them. So very, very solid game for Vegas here. Talbot saves a Stone shot, and it felt like this is a series changer. This feels like a game that's just got that momentum just swinging right around to the Vegas side of things. Carlson would score. Now, here's the thing. At 17:36, and it was off a turnover. Now, it was unassisted, and now the app tells me Smith and Fleury got assists on that. So I guess they didn't record it as a change in possession. But Carlson, I'm going to give him the takeaway on this. Carlson capping off a really good game. So there you've got Smith on the board, Carlson on the board. Marchessault got a goal in, the last game? So these guys are going, and that's really important. And that's at 17:36, makes it 4-2. And the offense is back. This is a team that struggled offensively since that series against Vancouver. They struggled against Dallas. The offense is back. Through games 2 and 3, it's now I think we can take that narrative and push it to the side. We'll see if they have struggles later on in the series, but it kind of feels like the momentum swing has taken place, and the better team is ahead right now. Goalie pull with 2:15 left. Eriksson Ek would hit the post, and then the Wild were guilty of icing it, so Talbot has to go back into the net. With 1:36 left, things get kind of scrummy. Martinez blocking a lot of shots again, while it's a 6-on-5. And then Stone hits the empty net at 19:01 to put the asterisk on this and just close it out. Your final score is 5-2 for Vegas. They lead this series now 2-1. The shots in this game really show you just how much this game switched. And once Vegas turned the switch on, Minnesota didn't seem to have what was necessary to turn the game around. The shots were 7-4 for Minnesota in the first. 22-5 Vegas in the second, 14-4 Vegas in the third. Final shots were 40-16 for the Vegas Golden Knights. Vegas 0 for 5 on the power play, Minnesota 0 for 2, and Minnesota wastes. I think they had 4,500 fans in attendance, and it was quiet by the end of this one. Hits 31-28 for Minnesota, which makes sense because they didn't have the puck a whole lot. Blocks 19-18 for Vegas. Fleury only faced 16 shots, only had to make 14 saves. This was one of the easier wins he's had. I think they said this is his 83rd playoff win in his career. Probably the easiest of the 83. Talbot saves 35 out of 39. He's the only reason this game's even close. It's the only reason that this game wasn't a complete and total blowout for the Vegas Golden Knights. And I don't know how you come back from this. if you're Minnesota, because, yeah, they had them down in the first period, and then they let them up, and now Vegas has the lead in the series. So we'll see what happens in Game 4, but it does feel like that offense is broken through, and for Minnesota, they're going to need to close up the dam pretty quick, because if they lose Game 4, that's the series. So we'll see what happens. Let me know your thoughts regarding this series and this game in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video, and I guess if you're a Wild fan, do you view this series as kind of being over at this stage because now they got to win 3 out of 4, or are they still in this because if they win the next game, it becomes a best 2 out of 3? If you're a Vegas fan, do you feel comfortable that the offense is back? Let me know your thoughts. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.